Hello, this video is for CIS200 Unit 10 challenge work. This is on page 29 of lesson 4. So you click launch activity, open it up in Cengage. As you can see, I already have it open. And keep in mind that these questions may be out of order. So I'm just gonna write the name of the question up here. It's just the prologue question, right? Um, so go through the question, of course. Now we're just going to address what the question is talking about. So right here, it's asking about essentially what happens with the query precedes FDR Kennedy. And for this one, the prologue interpreter will get stuck in an infinite loop. This causes a stack overflow and will freeze or crash. Next one. So it's just talking about the Prolog inference engine, right? What does it tell us about it? So it has strict left to right execution. It only goes left to right and does not look ahead. So a special note on left recursion. Because the recursive rule, that is the rule precedes, because the recursive rule precedes was placed on the far left, Prolog calls it repeatedly without ever reaching the baseline facts, such as before, that would normally stop the loop. So mathematically, in Prolog, order doesn't matter, or mathematically, order doesn't matter in logic, right? A and B equals B and A. But in Prolog, procedural order is everything. So it must be procedurally ordered in Prolog, but it does not matter necessarily mathematically, right? So you'd submit this, right? And then move on to question 2. You'd save this document, save it as a PDF, submit it, move on to question 2. So for question 2, I'm just going to say it's the visualbasic.net question. For this one, we're just going to go ahead and write what would be needed to complete the assignment, right? Don't worry about ensuring it's in any particular format or document type. Um, so we're just going to call this interface objects and properties setup. And we'll just go ahead and place them right here. So first name input. Don't worry about the bullet points if they're there, that's fine. Object type, text box, name, text first, Last name input, same thing, object type, text box, name, txt last, output display, object type, label, name, LBL label, full name, action trigger, object type, so what's going to cause the action to take place, right? Button, name, BTN button, right name, and then text, name, writer, in double quotes. So we can go ahead and call this part two. Let's call it event driven code logic. Again, it's all right if the bullet points there. Private sub button, right name, underscore click. Say single quote, grab the text from the boxes, join them with a comma, and show it in the label. So label LBL, full name, text equals txt last dot text, and do our comma and our space and double quotes so that it looks formatted properly, and txt first dot text in sub. There we go. This is question two, so you can go ahead and save it in the document format in case you need to refer back to it later, and save it as a PDF and submit it in Cengage. Now we'll move on to question three. So this is the Fibonacci sequence, right? So I'm just going to go ahead and number them. So just first six Fibonacci numbers. 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, as each one is the sum of the ones before it. So one, the sum of one is one, or the sum of the two before it, right? So one and one is two, one and two is three, two and three is five, three and five is eight, etc. It would be 5 and 8 is 13. So here we can just call this Fibonacci closure. And we just write the program calculates imprints sequential Fibonacci numbers. The default output prints the numbers. Prints the first 10 numbers. In the sequence starting from 0. Should be like 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, 34. Number 3, let's call it go comments. Scroll up. Go has the same comment syntax as C, C++. So what does this mean? Single line comments use the slash, double slash, and then multi-line comments start with slash asterisk, and then you have the comment right here, and then they end with asterisk slash. So here the comments only on one line for the double, for the single line comments after 2 slashes. So this comment can only be in one line. And then everything in between the slash and the asterisks on this one is multi-line. So you can start, a slash, asterisk, type 3 or 4 lines, then end it with a slash, with an asterisk slash, and all of that is considered comments. So now number 4. So semicolons. So the frequently asked questions states that goes formal grammar does use semicolons to terminate statements, but the actual programmer does not type them. Instead, the Go lexer, which is the compiler parser, automatically inserts them at the end of lines using a few simple rules, keeping the source. So this keeps the source code clean and highly readable, which as humans is invaluable to us. Alrighty, last one. So semantics, right? Which is just the meaning, right? Another word for meaning. A comma B colon equals 0 comma 1. So what does this do? This creates, go ahead and scroll up. This creates 2 variables, A and B, and assigns them values of 0 and 1 respectively. A comma B equals B comma A plus B. So this, let me go ahead and make this A look the same. This assigns the variable A with the current value of B, and then assigns the variable B with the value of A plus B, right? So it's incorporating the current values before it begins its execution. So it'll be that original A before it's overwritten. All right, that was question three. Save the document in case you need it for the future, convert it to a PDF, submit that PDF, and then we will move on to question four. So for question four, I'm just going to call it the JavaScript image files question, right? Yeah, JavaScript image files question. I'm going to give you a slightly different task for this one. So your task will be modify the logic inside image switch. Inside the image switch function using if else structure so that the variable next pick name advances sequentially from image 1 to 2, 2 to 3, and wraps from 3 back to 1. So we're talking about this, right? So we're going to modify the logic inside of image switch using if else so that the variable next pick name acts accordingly. So here's next pick name, right? The variable that we want to act accordingly. Here is the image switch function, which we're going to modify with if else's. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and dive into that. So just type it out in your document. Function, image switch, that's all we really have to care about because we're modifying it. Scroll up some. Document dot get element by ID main image dot src equals next pick name. So here's our first if next pick name is exactly equal to, that's what the double equal sign means, exactly equal to flower1 dot jpg. Next pick name equals flower2 dot jpg. Else if next pick name is exactly equal to flower2 dot jpg. Next pick name equals flower3 dot jpg. And then end it with just a standardized else. We would go ahead and say, so if it doesn't equal, if next pick doesn't equal flower1 or flower2 dot jpg, we will set, that means it equals flower3 dot jpg, right? If those are the only three available. So we'll just say, so it wraps back around, next pick name equals flower1 dot jpg. In that else, close the image switch function, and there you have it. Short and sweet, right? So this was question 4. Save the document in case you need it later, convert it to a PDF, submit that PDF, and then that is it for CIS 200 Unit 10 challenge work. Hope that you found this video helpful. Thank you for watching. Have a great rest of your day.